Morning guys, so welcome back to video 87 I think. We're getting close to the 90, 100 mark anyway. So I'm going to make some wing nuts to hold that screen in, although not the screen, the roof down, so it can't blow up. Unfortunately, because of COVID and lockdown, which looks like it's going to be extended a lot longer than we hoped, but anyway, because the couple of cases that were out in the North Island spread a long way because some of the places when these people travelled around, it spread it a long way, and then other people that have got it from them have been at other things that have been, it's unfortunately there's been some big events that a handful of people have been to that have had it, that were working at these events. It probably now spread COVID around the country. Like, they're looking at quite reasonable numbers, reasonable numbers compared with what we've had, if you know what I mean. We haven't had hardly anything in the actual public for a long time, whereas this one person come in, their partner would have got it as well. They had done some travelling a couple of weeks ago, told a type thing, about the time of Rachel's birthday. They'd done some travelling over that weekend, around quite a bit of, quite a reasonable chunk of the North Island. Not that far, but a reasonable chunk. They'd done a few hundred kilometres or miles, cruising around over the weekend, spread around a heap of people, and then some of the people that they've obviously got it that didn't know that they had COVID, obviously, they've gone to different events, and there's been people from all over New Zealand that have been to those events, so they're testing a lot of people. Anyway, so we're going to be locked down for more than just a few days, I think. But anyway, I've got some, because of lack of trying to get hardware, I've got some 10mm, 1.5mm pitch thread bolts here, which I was going to use 3/8, but instead of going to Mum and Dad's to get taps and stuff, and I can't get bolts, I've only got one 3/8 bolt here that would be suitable. The other one I cut up to make the piece for that copper thing. Funnily enough. So I've got some 10mm bolts here that I've hunted around and found some 10mm, 1.5mm, 1.5 thread bolts that will do the job, and I'm going to make wing nuts out of these. At the end of the day, nobody's really going to know that they're 10mm unless they sit there and go, oh yeah, it's 10mm metric. It's a tough booze. At the moment I don't really have a choice. I need to keep moving on with it because I don't know how much further I'm going to get before I actually run out of being able to get stuff, because they're not selling. If it's not essential for basic day-to-day living, they're not going to sell stuff. So it's a pain in the ass, because I've been looking at maybe buying like an action cam sort of type thing for an extra camera to try and find a bit of a break. I wouldn't mind buying a couple of DJI Osmo action cameras, because I think they're probably actually a better choice than the GoPros at the moment, and they're about half the price. The GoPros 9s look like they're a bit of a, I don't know, I think they got a few issues. They're probably still quite a good camera, but they've got a few issues. And for double the price, I can buy two DJIs action cams, which are still do I think 4K 60. So and I wouldn't mind buying a drone, but you can't even buy the stuff at the moment. You can't go into a shop and get it. You can't actually order it here and they'll deliver it. If it's an essential item like a kettle or a jug or whatever, they'll boil water or a pot or something like that, you can buy it, but electronic goods aren't deemed as essential, so you can't even frickin' order it online and get it delivered, which is a real frickin' pain in the ass. But anyway, so I'll make some wing nuts out of these, and I'll drill and tap those bits, make sure these wind into them okay, and then I'll make some big ears. I've actually set a bit of wood on top of the car to give me an idea for clearance for the sides of the wing mount. Put that in here, hope you can see that alright. So yeah, I'll just try to give me an idea of where the canvas top would be hanging. So I've got an idea of how big it, because if the roof was flat here, you wouldn't be able to make it very big, but because it's pointing up towards that next one, which is several inches higher, you know, I can put a reasonable size knuckle here to lock on, because if you look in the photos over here, that's quite a decent size. Hold on, I'll just be back in a second. Right, so as you can see, when you look at that, that's quite a large thing. And it looks like it's about a 3/8 size bolt or whatever, thereabouts. So if you're looking at that, you compare that to what we've got in here. God, man. I'm trying to... So that looks like about it. So it's quite a reasonable sort of thing on here. Oh, bugger out. Point the camera in the right direction. So it's quite a reasonable sort of thing in there. So yeah, that's quite large. So that's what I'm going to do and how I'm going to make it. So we'll try and replicate that best we can. So yeah, it's quite a large thing compared with the thread. So we'll see how we get on. Right, so I'm thinking something about that sort of size. I might be overkill. Just sort of hard to tell. What I'll do is I'll fold that over because I've got it on a crease, and I'll cut it out and try and get a... It might be too big. I can always make it smaller, but it's not so easy to make it bigger. Well, it is, but you know what I mean. That looks like it's a reasonable sort of thickness too. So anyway, I'll get making. I think that should do it. That should be reasonably simple if I make a plasma out a piece, and I might cut the bolt down to here, but I might put a piece in it and then weld it on both sides, if you know what I mean. Weld it round. I think that should do. Right, I was going to use a bit of that stuff I've been cutting up. I've got this piece of heavier plate there, which looks like it might be, well, this here is 3, I think it is, a bit over 3. This is, I think, might be 5 or 6, might be 5, maybe 6. So I think this will be better. It's just a bit more solid, and I can shape it a bit more like the like taper the edges off like the real thing. So what I'll do is I'll cut these off about here. I'll bring it about 2/3 the way into here. I'll actually cut a slot in it, but I won't bring it all the way to the right to the back. I'll bring it close, so then I can actually grind it off and shape it like the proper thing. So what I'll do is I'll just cut these out. I'll probably just use the old death wheel there, cutting disc. I'll cut these out and I'll actually mark these out. I think that's probably going to be the easiest way, and then I can just shape with the grinder. So what I'll end up doing is, what I'll do is I'll cut a slot like that, so I can actually weld the bolt into the centre. I'll do the same here. So I'm cutting it out. I'll just cut that piece off. Once I cut the bolt off, which I'll leave it probably about that long, thereabouts, just nick it off, slip that in there, get it nice and centre, burn it in really hot, both sides will probably be this back, burn it in stinking hot, and then we'll grind this all up and we'll get just a really nice shape in them, and then tap and drill the holes, and that job will be done. So, there we go. Shame I didn't do it the other way, but anyway. Just as easy to this side. So I can get in there and cut this piece out first. Top thing is the earmuffs. Righty, before I bugger off for the afternoon, this is how far I've got. I've only really sort of got one together. Yeah, I've sort of wired the other bolt and the other one and whatever, and I've cut the thread in this one. I must have got this fairly hard when I was obviously doing all the welding and grinding and stuff like that. It was a bit of a bitch to cut that thread through there, but I got there. I just had to keep persevering backwards. Yeah, a few, sort of a quarter or half a turn time, because you could, if I really pushed on it, and just keep sort of winding it through, like it was really hard to pull through, not just, but anyway, so I've got that in there. Unfortunately, I don't know why that hole's not very straight, because I've done it on the pillar drill, so it should have been fairly straight before I ground all the metal down. It's not terribly, but it's not going to matter. It would have been nicer if it was a wee bit straighter, but once it's on there, you're not really going to notice. It probably doesn't help that I've ground it down probably a little bit much on one side than the other, but it's possibly part of it. But yeah, that works nice. So I can go put that on there now and test fit that, and then I'll bugger off home and do this live with Arco on that. So I'll do another quick wee update in a minute or two. Righty, so I've got that back on there, one side anyway, and that looks pretty good. It's shit hot. So if I put the stick over top, plenty of room to get your hand in there and do that up. That's a nice wee tweak. It's never going anywhere. I might put a little point on the end of what point it's up drives in there, but I think it's going in there pretty good. Well, that's not going anywhere without forcing it, if you know what I mean. And then you just gotta do it and lift it off. Not going nowhere, so that's cool. This bloody compressor off. So yeah, that's cool. So that's me for the day. I might come down possibly later on or something like that and do the other one, finish the other one, get that done. So yeah, I just wouldn't mind getting them both done before the end of the weekend. Just shoot down here for another hour or two. Probably do that one later on, but I always want to do this live with Arco, so that's pretty cool. We'll try and keep that at a regular thing, and hopefully maybe have some other people come in as well. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it flows today, I think, but yeah, that's cool. Catch you later on. Alright, how you going, guys? I'll carry on with this other one back here that we haven't got done yet, and we'll catch you shortly. Oh, so that's that done. So those mate, tight. Look, that ain't going anywhere. I'm gonna break myself before I break that off. So that's cool. Just wind it off a little bit, comes off. Simple. Nice and big so you can get a decent, you know, pull on it without being stupid. And yeah, it ain't going anywhere. That's cool. Awesome. So the only thing we're really going to do now is just round these off when I get a chance, hopefully when the COVID crap buggers off and I get a chance to go around to mum and dad's. I probably could, but I just don't want to push things too much. I think coming here is probably enough every day. I'm fortunate that I'm not involved with anybody in the home press I'm involved with here. You know, you see often enough anyway, so it's not gonna. It's like, man, it's like he's in the bubble anyway. Like, you know, this stupid COVID frickin'. Don't get me started. I think they're going to force us all to use those, what do you call it? Like the barcode scan friggin' things. I think they're going to actually make us, everybody use one, have one in your house, so if anybody comes and visits you, they're going to scan it, and it's like, yeah, and I think if you don't use it, you're going to get, you know, there's going to be implications, and it's like, why don't you just, you know, put us in a fucking jail, you know, because that's what it's coming down to, and it's not right. That's not human rights. We should have we should have the freedom to be able to go see people without the government knowing where you've been every fucking second of the day. You know, if you go to somebody's house and you stay there, they're like, well, why you know, they shouldn't need to know everybody's crap, like, to that nitty gritty. That's just straight out control and invasion of privacy and all those sorts of things. They may as well just, you know, like it's full on control, and it's not right. Like the way they're going with this COVID stuff, it is they're trying to. I don't know what they're trying to do, but they're using it as an excuse to, one, take away money, cash money, so they can. Personally, I can see it coming, and people might think I'm crazy, but if they can get rid of cash money, they're going to make one world money, and then it'll be one world government, and it'll be just small governments under one world government. I can see it coming, you know, and we won't be able to sneeze, fart, or even take a shit without some cunt knowing, you know. And if they take away cash money, you can't go down to your mate and buy something. Say you haven't got something to barter with him, and I mean like a tangible asset, or doing work for him to buy something off him. That's the way it's going to come down to it. It's going to mean you're going to have to take time out of your day to work for somebody else to get something. It's like, say I wanted to buy that old tractor. Not that I wanted to buy that tractor, but instead of having him say, oh, you know, he wants $2,000 for that tractor, I can give him $2,000 cash. I can carry on with my day, and nobody knows any the wiser. But if I buy that electronically, and that's the only form that we've got, one, the government will go, okay, you got to pay tax on that, and all those sorts of things. Like, yeah, and it's like when you sell it, you got to pay tax on it again. It's control. It's full on control, because the only other way that you could get that would be work for it, or trade something for it that isn't electronically controlled. And all of a sudden, if you're working or doing a job like what I'm doing, so that all of a sudden that takes time away from me earning money to buy things, instead of I've got to work for that product and then I can't be productive doing what I'm normally doing. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not a good circle way, what they're trying to do, because they will take away cash money. They're trying to do it now. But I know in Australia they were talking about it a while ago when we were living there. They were talking about within the next 5 to 10 years deleting cash money. Yeah, like green folding stuff or whatever colour, you know, that money is. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take away cash money, and they're using this as an excuse to do it. People, like, if people don't believe me, yeah, they are. They're trying to, and they're doing it everywhere. Like if they have doing it here, because they're forcing us here now to if you go into a shop, and they did it last time too when we were in full lockdown. You can't use cash. I think at the moment they're letting people away with it a little bit to get away with buying food, because some people, you know, still deal in cash, and I think when they take that away, they've got everybody by the short and curlies, basically. They've got you by the balls, or whatever else you want to call it. Yeah, when we lose cash money, and they do it around the world, each country, all of a sudden, that money, our dollar, and the next person's dollar, and the next person's dollar, and the next person's dollar. Like at the moment, like American dollar to New Zealand dollar is, ours isn't half, but it's heading towards that sort of figure. So every $100 of these, we might need, say, 170 to make the $100. At points we've been close to the same, and at other points we've been, you know, might taken $200 to get $100 US. And vice versa for the Australian, like that, it might have taken us $130 to get to their $100. But it's also been, we've also been like, it's like been $101 to get their $100. So like it changes all the time. But all of a sudden, that dollar around the world becomes the same. Or pound or whatever euro. They'll just make it one currency. And that's, I think, where a lot of this cryptocurrency is coming into it. I think that's part of it. They're getting people used to it. And a lot of people are getting sucked into doing everything away from cash money or a tangible. You know, what that was used to be gold and silver, you know, that was your money. And that's turned it into paper money, which is still, it's still a tangible thing. As soon as they take that tangible away and it's electronic, you know, it may as well be wood chips, you know. That's stupid. It's control. Straight out, pure and simple, it's control. Anyway, that's my rant over. Alright guys, right, I think that'll do for now. We've got these bits made. I've been making some other stuff. It's actually at the end of the day. I've done some brackets and stuff for there, but I'll show you that in the next one. So yeah, I'm just trying to work out what I'm going to do here to make these final pieces. I think what I might do is get some, to see whether they can get some heavyish wool, like 15 mil or 5/8 sort of type sort of width tube, or maybe something a little bit bigger than that, maybe 20 mil. It's not going to matter too much, as long as it's about that size. And maybe a bit of flat, like 6x20 bar, like flat bar, to make this sort of stuff. And we may use it for some of the other bits, because we only got the 1, 2, 3 to make. And yeah, I think what I'll do is when I do make it, I'll put heavier. We'll make these thicker. We'll just see what we can get. But yeah, if I have to flatten the ends of it, I'll have to flatten the ends of it. It's, you know, it'll look probably very similar when it's done. It'll just be, I'll do it nicer, obviously. all around the ends properly and all that sort of stuff. I actually did that with some of these. I actually flattened it off and made it look half decent. But yeah, so that'll be cool. Anyway, we'll catch you there, guys. We'll see you in the next one. And yeah, that'll probably be me buggering around with this stuff. Not as much to see, but I've recorded a bit of stuff, so we'll see you then. Cheers.